IssoPodden. Denne episoden er en god gammel en fra arkivet, og er en del av et større prosjekt som jeg har laget sammen med Erik Voje og Martin Tronsen. I dag så har vi snakket med en legende i tatoveringsbransjen. Han begynte å tatovere på tidlig 90-tallet og slo seg fort opp som en av de råeste tatovørene i California. Han jobbet lenge i studio til legenden Jack Rudy, med blant annet Freddie Negretti, som vi får høre mer fra i en senere episode. Men det han kanskje er mest kjent fra, er supersuksessen og verdens største tattoo-reality-program, nemlig LA Inc., hvor han var showets stjerne ved siden av Kat Von D. Velkommen til Corey Miller.
Been busy for almost 13 years now. In the last 3 years before that, we moved one block over every time, right into the center of town. First we were like on the outskirts of town, and now we're right in the middle. And, last 2 years though, I spent in Hollywood. When they film, I would commute to Hollywood and work at Kat Von D shop at the high voltage place. And that was 5 days a week for about 4 months at a time. And almost 3 years. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. It kind of flew by, man.
How was it filming the show?
It was cool, man. You know, personally, I kind of went in it on safe footing. You know, I watched the guys in Miami, and I knew those guys, and I knew the kind of talk that was going about it. And you know, I'm not much of a hater, and I kind of just tattooing's kind of a circus, anyways. You know, we're somewhat carnies, and it's on TV now. And I saw the guys do it, and it was kind of cool, so I kind of had an idea of what to do, and I had no idea I was going to do that. I went out there and tattooed Kat on that show once because she liked me, and I was an inspiration to her. I guess as we were younger, I was an inspiration to her, and a friend, and you know, an experience. When she was going to get her shop, she asked me if I wanted to do it, and like, fuck. It was kind of weird. I really had a little anxiety about it because I've always been very underground. You know, hence the name 6 Feet Under. You know, we're not goth in here. It was just kind of the underground scene. And, you know, when she asked me to do that, it's like, wow, step into that. And I don't know if anybody can really anticipate what the fuck that's really all about. Because your anonymity and all. And, you know, looking 2 years later, when you can walk, I can go into another state or another country. It's like, hey, Corey! It's really fucking strange, you know? But I anticipated it to a point, but you know, it's all right. But luckily, I feel like, you know, a lot of people like the show. A lot of people love tattoos, man.
Yeah.
You know?
How do you feel about the way it has changed the whole tattoo industry?
Yeah, I guess it has. I've heard it. You know, I've heard it from a lot of people that it has. And honestly, most I've heard that it's been is positive. So what can I say? But yay! But I'm not going to sit here and take credit for it because a lot of people have already done it. And people might change their mind later and say that it's hurt the industry, then they'll blame me. No, I'm just... You know what, if I really thought it was bad for the industry, honestly, and I'm just one person, I wouldn't even touch it. I respect tattooing, you know, to the utmost. I've done it longer than I haven't, you know, and turned from something to do to be completely rebellious into a livelihood to raise my kids, you know. And then driving to fucking Hollywood, you know, I used to go out there 20-something years ago when I was a kid and see punk rock bands, and now I'm driving out there to be on TV. Hey, Jason, did you need something? I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Is he on the cell phone or? Hey, Freddie. Yeah. Oh, right now he is? Oh, okay. Hey, dude, some dudes are doing a fucking documentary. Where are you guys from again? Norway. Right? And they're gonna film you tomorrow, they were saying. Well, they happened to be here when those dudes came in to borrow it, and it was funny, dude. I swear to God, we were just talking about you. Out of the blue, dude, and then this dude walks in saying it's your cousin. I'm like, that's crazy. And I was saying back when you used to draw them fucking designs when you were kind of inside for a minute, and you gave that artwork to them cops, and you had me tattooed on them back in like '91. That's fucking funny, man. Anyways. Like right now while I'm talking to you, man, it's so fucking funny because I was already talking to you when they walked. It was just, yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, it was a good sign, man. So Oh yeah. Well, cool, Freddie. That thing's on its way. It's good shit. So, all right. I'll talk. Have your cousin give you that number and call me on my cell. I'm gonna be jamming all night, and then I'll talk to you later in a few hours. All right, Holmes. Hey, that's so funny, man. That's
Yeah,
fucking.
so,
That's classic shit right there. That's
Yeah.
I'm honored to even say it's kind of that's where I come from. Jack Rudy is one of my main mentors. He was the guy that I looked up to, and when I saw his work, it's like, yeah, that shit's great. And I met Mark Mahoney. Mark admired Freddie, and they always talked about Freddie like he was like this ominous gangster, and he kind of is. And it's just funny though, nothing's changed. 21 fucking years, man. And it's not like we see each other all the time. And even like this is a trippy subject to get into. The LA Ink thing, man. A lot of people, not a lot of people, the people I came from. Everybody else is fucking cool, but the guys that I came from, the kings of the fucking Jack, Mark Mahoney, they were so fucking anti that shit. And Mark, it's kind of weird because, I love Mark, man. I looked up to the guy. He was one of the first dudes. Same shit. He was coming out here doing house parties. And I was just a youngster learning how to tattoo. And I've been tattooing 25 years. And I learned on my own with a homemade machine. And one thing I've learned, too, aside from all this bullshit, nobody owns tattooing, man. We fucking take the ball and carry it for a minute. Or we're just a track on that fucking, a car on that train track, man. No one owns it. But it was weird when I went to Hollywood. There's a little bit of grief, Jack Rudy especially. You know who Jack Rudy is. Everybody knows Jack Rudy, And oh fuck, just gave me so much shit. Don't do oh fuck them shows and this and that and whatever. But he's like that, and like you said it does good for the business.
Yeah.
Fact is, and even back to that whole thing. What has it done for tattooing? It's just doing its part, man. Fires can be good, fires can be really bad. And there's no one way to categorize tattooing anyways. For me, on a personal level, it was great. I got to work with Hannah Atchison, Kim Say. Those girls are amazing. Kat's an amazing fucking tattoo artist. I love Kat. I love those girls, dude. And I'm a happily married guy. I got 3 beautiful kids. I love my wife, man. Love going home to her every day. I went to Hollywood every fucking day, 5 days a week. Long fucking days.
Yeah.
And dealt with production people who bullshit you and tell you whatever the fuck they think you want to hear.
Yeah.
But it was still fun. But I always, come home. But man, going out there working with them girls, they're all beautiful, all sweet, great artists. It was really fun. And then came the drama. And then the fucking powers that be changed everything in the show. And ironically, it got more drama. They got rid of Kim and Hannah and brought in this dingbat fucking, just stirs up shit. But and as a result of it, I'm sitting there fighting with her the whole time, and the ratings are going through the fucking roof. That's just a good point of showing how the tattoo industry, the people that are worried about it, they don't have to worry about it, dude. It ain't hurting nobody. We got to do 1 fucking tattoo a day. In here, before I left, I was doing 2 or 3 tattoos a day, booked for a year. Now that I got back, I won't book myself more than 2 months. But it's cool. Like the beginning of this year, I tattooed a guy from North Holland, Brussels, Belgium, Marin County, which is Northern California, flew in, Chicago, Hawaii, Australia. The whole week, not one local. And I could tattoo locals all day long. But, that's kind of the neat thing. That's the outreach. And it's not just for me. It's all the there's a lot of shops, man. I got letters from guys that I looked up to 20 years ago, and I'm not bullshitting, and I don't write. Dudes kind of came out of the woodwork and said good things about the show. That's what I like to hear. And every once in a while, you'll hear one bad thing. You can get 1,000 people telling you all this great shit, and one person tells you something sucks. I gotta admit, man, my ego's not strong enough or anything. That shit hurts. So you take it, it's like, what? Like, really? And all that means to me is I think I have a good intention.
Yeah.
Which I have no fucking level to hold myself to. I'm a fucking tattoo artist.
Yeah.
I mean, really. What? Don't look for role models here. It's an observation. But it's turned into a pretty decent life. You can't light fires where you sleep anymore. You do that when you're a child.
So what do you like best? Working here, doing your own schedule and stuff?
Yeah, we're done filming, and I come home. you know, not to shit where I eat, but I love this place. This is home to me. I mean, Cat's Place, when I got in there, and even film with the cameras, it was my whole theory to always just ignore the cameras. That was my, I never acted or did any of that shit. Just ignore the cameras and be yourself. Pretend you're invisible in a sense, you know, and, but coming home, in a way, after being here so many years, it was almost like a hiatus, so it was probably really good for me to leave for a minute, because coming home, I just missed the place. And especially this time, I've been home for a few months. We repainted everything. All my guys are charged up. They actually filmed in my shop the end of last season. So that's good for us, you know. You know, on the show, a lot of people think, oh, I just work for Cat. A lot of people don't even know I have a shop. I've had my own shop for 17 years, you know. This place turns 13 April Fool's Day of 2010. So that's a fucking landmark.
So how did you start out tattooing?
Started out homemade machine, you know. Fish pump motor and a guitar string, a little bullshit in class, getting kicked out of high school. Well, not kicked out of school, but kicked out of class for fucking around. And started hanging out at the local tattoo shop, finagled a machine, a box. We used to do missions for this old guy, Franco, this old Sicilian guy from the East Coast. You know, and it was cool, man. It was like the wrong place to be, totally sleazy. I never knew what a hooker was till I was down there, and I was only 16, 17. But I was the dude. I was the dude that got to take out the trash, and I was the dude that liked to draw. I was the dude that got to tattoo Franco's hands, taught me some shit, and you know, he went to jail. The shop went into shambles. Mohawk, front tooth missing, 357 on the side, fucking steel fucking plate in the window. Yeah, this is great. Couldn't wait to get out of school and get down there and finagle a couple beers, and it was good. That all crumbled because bad shit does. I just tattooed at home for quite a while until I met Mark Mahoney. Mark was working in '87 at Fat George's in La Puente, California. And I was over there begging Mark for a job. And Mark was just about to make his move to Hollywood. And actually, one day I accidentally kind of dry ratted to George. Because Fat George was a prick, man. Mean son of a bitch. Worked in El Monte. He wasn't bad or nothing, but he was just mean. Always on your ass, you know? And that's a lot of guys, tattoo artists these days, acted like old crabby sons of bitches. They have no fucking reason to. They've been tattooing cute college girls for 10 fucking years. Why are you gonna act like an old salty dog, you know? But George was the epitome of a bastard, you know? And God bless him. But anyways, Mark was going to Hollywood, and I got sick asking George to get shut down. I go, well, what about you, Mark? I want to go to Hollywood with you, you know? And George's like, what do you mean? Where? And George didn't know Mark was leaving. And that's how I got my first job. I dry ratted Mark on accident, and fucking Mark said, oh yeah, George, you should see it. It's beautiful, you know, checkerboard floors. And George is like, fuck you, you could start tomorrow. That's how I got in. Because back then it was super tight, man. People would sell you bunk ink. They would tell you couldn't get shit. And that's the thing, you know, as people say, oh, now it's ruined, everybody can get shit. No, it's not. In the 40s, they were selling tattoo machines and Popular Mechanics, man. This shit's a fucking circle, and it goes in waves, and again, nobody fucking owns it, man. You're fucking trained, man. You know? You can abuse it, and it can abuse you. And to tell you the truth, that first shop job was the beginning of quite a few years of fucking abuse. Just, you know, it's a hell of a license to walk into a parlor and the shit that can come with tattooing. And if you can't keep a fucking handle on yourself, you know, I think all these years later, up to 10 years ago, like I said, I've been in a professional shop for almost 22 years. So,
It's a long time.
yeah, it's kind of funny when you look at it. But now, you know, this is a beautiful shop. We're all functionally dysfunctional, you know, everybody in here. The dysfunction junction, but all the guys, we've been through our shit, we know how to run shit right, and it's rounded out really well. But after George's, that's how I met Dick Warsaki. He was an artist that worked for Jack Rudy. He was down there in the hood getting some fish tacos at the Mexican taco stand. A white guy, a Polish guy from Nebraska in there getting some tacos, sees me tattooing an Indian, and I had heard of him, and hey, Dick, and you know, I'd been working at Fat George's for a couple of years, and oh, you gotta meet Jack, and I met Jack, and it was real short and sweet. Why do you work for that fat bastard? Why don't you work for a real team? I'm like, oh, okay. And fuck, I was lucky, you know, and I got a job with Jack and really saw some beautiful tattoos, you know, and I just was trying to get better, man. And at that time, I met guys like I met them, didn't know them well or work with them, but I saw guys like Guy Atchison and Eddie Deutsch and Philip Liu. I'm like, fuck, look at this thing. It's just like, that was the turning point for me, that many in the early 90s. And I really cut loose. And then, you know, I worked for Jack for a while, and I went off on my own. You know, I was at the top. We opened up this new shop, and it was great, and a lot of fucking partying and decadence, and a shootout, and the shop got closed. Well, I closed it, and slowly went underground, and hence the name 6 Feet Under, and that was 18 years ago. And since then, I've been on my own, and 13 years ago, opened up this place. So there's the short end of it. They don't want to talk about this shit on LA Inc. though.
No, of course
Fuck
not.
no. They don't want to hear that. But anyways, then I got to this place, you know, and I had my first child 10 years ago, which really changed my life. I mean, I was always a decent guy. Never planned on that, but I got my wife and my 3 kids, and just a lucky fucker. And I've been driving back and forth 5 minutes from here. The last couple years has been crazy. I decided to drive 2-hour commute every day, 500 miles a fucking week. 10, 12-hour days. But, you know, was it worth it? You know, I don't know. You know, the anonymity went cheap. You know, one of the sad things is a lot of people think that we made a ton of money. Shit, I made as much as I made less than what Yoji made on Miami Inc. You know, a lot of these people came in with agents, you know, and all this Hollywood stuff. I came in pretty green, but, you know, I think I kept my pride. And if there's any money to be made off of it, don't get me wrong for a second. Of course, that's why the fuck I would do it. And, you know, a lot of people wonder about that. Oh, did you do it for the money? Well, fuck yeah. That's what I tattoo for, too, you dumb fuck, you know? And if there wasn't money, I'd tattoo for fucking beers and the shit that I started tattooing for. And chicken and food or fucking whatever, you know? Gold fucking teeth, musical instruments. Come on, man. This is a fucking system. It's a folk art, you know? One thing I never wanted to do and I don't do on the show, and I'm not holding anybody back. I'm not giving lessons, and I'm not saying, here, fucking take this and run with it. Fuck that. I never have. And if I inspire somebody, it's completely different. But you know, just under the microscope for a minute, and it's been fun, and I definitely don't fucking regret it. There's a cool scene in Hollywood. Hollywood's got an old scene, you know. It's got the old punk rock LA music scene. Inland Empire's got a really rich old tattoo scene, you know. I like it out here. People say shit out here and they mean it. No disrespect to, you know, other, you know, Texas is like that, you know. Hollywood, you know, it's Hollywood, babe. You know, you gotta roll with shit. And hey, that's admirable too. You gotta be a chameleon in this fucking world and roll with shit. But you know, more importantly, like today I put in my hours of work. What I've been doing longer than that is jamming and playing music. And right now, actually, the guys have come a long way, and I gotta go practice. And I just noticed we're eating up half the practice. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to come check out the music, more than welcome. Perfect.